Iowa has now come out and say, you know what? We're not going to allow this ever again. Well, Governor Ron DeSantis has already done it down in Florida, but Iowa's taken it one step level as far as the education is concerned. They're saying not only are we not going to allow this crap to ever happen again, but we're also going to let the parents get more involved in what they learn. Look at critical race theory has been a freaking disaster. It causes division. It causes hate. It brings to light topics that these kids were probably never even thinking about in the first place. Transgender identity politics, teaching these kids in kindergarten that if you want to be the opposite sex, that's okay. Planting seeds of confusion in their little minds before they are ready to be having those serious conversations. And as and when they have these serious conversations, is it going to be with teachers? As far as Iowa is concerned, no. So the education transparency bill in Iowa is now requiring teachers to post their curriculum online for parents to review. It's passed the Iowa House. It now goes on to the Senate. And I love this. It's comforting to me, a parent of a 5-year-old who is in the age demographic where I'm freaking out as a parent thinking, what the hell are they telling my 5-year-old? What are they putting in his little mind that's still developing and can't possibly comprehend all of this transgender stuff that they're trying to ram down these kids' throats? So seeing a state like Iowa do this gives me faith in America that perhaps we're going to start to see this throughout other states. This means that in Iowa, parents are going to start to get involved in their children's education. They're going to start to have a say. Everything that they do in Iowa needs to be reviewed and approved by the parents, as it should be. Look what we've just been dealing with critical race theory. Look what we've been dealing with, this transgender identity politics that we've been ramming down our kids' throats, that they desperately are trying to teach kindergartners, first graders, second graders. Well, the parents of Iowa are saying, screw that, we're not doing it. And they have the right to now opt out. So if the schools insist on it, and the parents say, I don't want my kid a part of it, that's fine. The kid can opt out of it. It doesn't mean they don't go to school. It just means they don't need to participate in that class, similar to how you would elect college courses. So there's a law now that if signed into law, or there's a bill, if signed into law, the legislation would also require schools to post their libraries' catalogs online, along with information for parents to request that certain materials be removed. So if you don't like it, the parents can rally together. They could say, listen, I don't think that's appropriate. I want it removed. The measure, HF 2577, already passed the House. So a few days, it passes the House, 60 to 36. I mean, smashes it. Don't even come close. One Republican voted against the bill, and 2 Democrats voted for it. You better believe that Republican's probably a rhino. I hope they get roasted for it. It's inappropriate for anybody to be voting for this stuff. To be honest, I'm shocked 36 people were against it. 36 Democrats, okay, actually, of the 36, 34, of the 38 Democrats, only 36 voted. 2 broke party and voted for this bill. But it's shocking to me that so many people, forget political parties for a second, it's shocking to me that 36 people wouldn't want to allow their parent, the kid's parents, to have some sort of say in what's being taught in these schools. But this is the America we live in. I'm not really surprised. The liberals, you know, they never cease to amaze me today with what they're trying to teach in schools. I'm just glad it passed the House. The Senate in Iowa is led by a Republican. It's a Republican majority. I believe it's going to pass the Senate too. So soon in Iowa, we're going to see parents be able to really control not what's necessarily taught, but what's going to put in front of their kids, because they can opt out of this if they don't like it. This is something I'd like to see in New York, California, but I don't know. We're outnumbered in New York. Parents matter, and they deserve transparency in their children's education, said Representative Phil Thompson, the bill's floor manager. If parents aren't happy with the content after reviewing the course material, they will, according to this bill, they will be allowed to opt out of that instruction for that child. If you're just joining us, we're talking about a bill. This has to do with Iowa. The House has passed HF 2577, which says the parents must be involved in the decision-making process when it comes to what teachers are going to teach their kids. They don't like critical race theory, it's out. They don't like transgenderism being taught to kindergarteners, it's out. They don't want to play identity politics. They don't want Black Lives Matter stuff being rammed down kids' throats. It's gone. And I think that's exactly what we should be seeing in these schools in every state, in every county. After all, we pay the tax bill. Why shouldn't it be down to us? School library books have become a heated topic as well. And they are not exempt from this, as some parents believe that students are being provided with content that is not age appropriate. I mean, listen, we've seen a good amount of disgusting pornographic material across the entire United States. Kids have come home. Teachers have told their kids, don't let your parents know. They've asked really personal and intimate questions. And they're checking out books from the library that shouldn't be there in the first place, at least in a public school library. It shouldn't be in any school's library, to be honest. But they're now tackling that in Iowa. School library books have become a heated topic. Some parents believe that the students are being provided with content that is not age appropriate or even pornographic. I mean, we've seen it. Borderline pornographic. And look at, this is the type of stuff that we are now seeing in schools. We're now seeing things like, gender queer sex books marketed to kids. This bill is going to allow them to fight back and get rid of any books that teach their children topics that they don't find appropriate. Democrats argued that the bill was a demoralizing attack on teachers and the education system. I think that's just a load of horseshit. It's not an attack on teachers. Okay? Teachers are there to teach ABCs, not the birds and the bees. So I don't really understand why the teachers' unions in states like Florida and Iowa are having such a hard time with this. Look what's going on down in Florida right now. Governor Ron DeSantis just came up with this bill that says, listen, we don't need to be teaching it in schools. And of course, all the Democrats and the LGBTQ plus communities now slamming Governor DeSantis, claiming that he's got a don't say gay bill. And that's not it at all. He's just simply saying, I don't think it's appropriate to be taught in school. Governor DeSantis has 2 little kids. He's probably thinking of his own 2 kids as he gets ready to put them into school. I'd like to know how many of these lawmakers, how many of these people, how many of these teachers who are pushing this disgusting, very inappropriate debates and topics onto our children. I'd like to know how many of them actually have children who are in elementary school. Because most governors in the states, they don't have children in the schools anymore. Most teachers who sit on these boards, the teachers' unions, they don't even have kids in these schools anymore. So when do we stop and say, hey, you know what? Wait a second. Let's start asking the parents what they think. Why don't we ask the parents to weigh in on these topics? And this is all we've ever wanted. And finally, in Iowa, they're going to get that.